let's talk about the Death Tour. And again, if you head over to the Film Thread Interview channel, I interview the producer of the Death Tour, Chris Jericho. And the Death Tour is basically, it focuses on the Death Tour for wrestling, professional wrestling, or in this case, it's independent wrestling. This takes place in Canada, a mecca of wrestling. And the tour basically is run by a famous wrestler who I'm trying to find the name of, and I can't seem to find it. But it's the Northern Manitoba Wrestling Insiders. They go into the northern areas of Canada, the bitterly cold areas of Canada, and basically bring wrestling to the Indigenous First Nations people up there, the Native Canadians, and they do wrestling matches. They basically bring entertainment to that area, and the people there look forward to it every year because they don't get entertainment. No one ever comes out to visit them. These guys are the only entertainment that will come into these areas and put on shows, and so they're very much appreciated. And so it kind of takes you through the process of being an independent wrestler, having to set up, tear down wrestling rings every night, travel in the frostbitten cold, always in danger of getting into some kind of accident along the way. So it kind of hones in on the life of the indie wrestler. This is kind of considered a rite of passage for Canadian wrestlers, as Chris Jericho went through it, and a lot of people through the dungeon system have gone on this tour as well. And on the other side of it is that these areas, these are areas that they're economically impoverished. If you're familiar with immigrant towns, Chinatown, little Tokyos, little Japans, it's kind of like you're all there to kind of survive day to day, and with the dream that one day you'll leave. And a lot of people who can't leave these areas wind up committing suicide or going to drugs and alcohol. And that's kind of the other side of this, is of how a lot of the people on these tours have gone through these things, have gone through alcoholism, has gone through fits of ideations of suicide, of unaliving oneself, and they're just kind of there. It's kind of like a ministry in some way, and so that's what this documentary is about. Is about this tour that occurred a couple of years ago, and again produced by Chris Jericho.
Have I heard of this tour where like people met an untimely end, so to speak? I'm trying to say it in a nice way.
I'm trying to remember if there's a story like that. Yeah. This is a grueling tour. I mean, there are times where the promoter basically had to kick wrestlers out and basically said, don't get on the bus, and he leaves them in whatever town because they're just not
really.
Yeah, because this is a serious tour, because this is how this guy makes money. And if you come along and you're half-assing it, he doesn't want you around, because you're just going to infect that kind of attitude to everyone else, and so he kicks them out. There might have been the Canadian Death Tour. That's what it is. Bill S. Preston.
Yeah. Well, look, it's something. First of all, a wrestling documentary. You had me at wrestling documentary, so this is something I definitely want to check out.
Yeah. And definitely some of the great Canadian wrestlers early in their careers have gone on this tour.